My stepmother treated me like a maid and told me to pay rent to live in my own house. But I did something that left them with nothing. I'm 22 years old. My dad is 46 years old. My stepmom, Karen, is 43 years old. My stepbrother, Tyler, is 25 years old. And my stepsister, Ashley, is 21 years old. Yes, these are fake names for privacy. Now get ready, because this is a long story. Seriously, grab popcorn or something, because there's a lot to explain. I've been holding this in for weeks and really need to share it. Here's some background first. It's important for later. I lost my mom to breast cancer when I was 8. It was really hard, but we managed. My dad was totally broken. He could barely live normally for a whole year. My mom's parents, who were amazing, came to live with us and helped take care of me while Dad tried to deal with his grief and run his business. About the house. This is super important. My grandparents had good money. Not rich, but comfortable. They bought a big 4-bedroom house in a nice area near Boston. The idea was that we'd all live together so they could help raise me. And it worked well, for a while. Then my dad met Karen. That's not her real name, but it suits her perfectly, LOL. He met her at a business conference in Chicago about 2 years after my mom died. He was trying to grow his consulting business, and she was working as an event coordinator. He said they clicked. Karen saw her chance. He was a sad widower with his own business. She moved across the country to be with him after only 3 months of knowing him, and surprise, they got married 6 months after meeting. Red flags everywhere. Karen brought her 2 kids. Tyler, now 25, was 11 back then, and already a spoiled brat. Ashley, now 21, was 7, and at first she was okay. But over time, Karen made her just like herself. My grandparents tried to be polite, but I remember hearing them talk at night. They didn't trust Karen. They thought she only wanted Dad's money. Plot twist? They were right. But they stayed quiet because Dad finally looked happy again. The first few years were tough. Karen started with small things. She said the house looked old-fashioned. It didn't. She said the kitchen needed an upgrade. It didn't. She said my grandparents were stuck in their ways. They weren't. Then she got bolder. She moved furniture without asking. She threw away my mom's decorations, saying they were dusty. She slowly took over the house. My grandparents were too polite to fight, and Dad was too in love to notice. Then came the chores. At first, it felt normal. Everyone should help, right? But everyone became just me. Tyler was always busy with sports. He was bad at basketball, but Karen made Dad pay for private coaching. Ashley was too young, even though she was only 1 year younger than me. By the time I was 12, I was doing most of the cooking and cleaning. Karen would check the baseboards with her finger to see if I dusted properly. Meanwhile, Tyler's room smelled like Axe spray and old pizza. Ashley's room was always a mess with clothes all over the floor. Here's the part I didn't know until recently. Before my grandparents died, Grandma in 2019 from heart problems, and Grandpa 3. Months later, because he missed her too much, they put the house in my name. Yes, legally the house is mine. They must have known this drama would happen and wanted to protect me. But I didn't know. No one told me. Dad knew, but he didn't think it was important. Spoiler. It was. Karen didn't know either, or she would have tried to get her name on the deed. So for years, I was living like a servant in my own house. I cooked, cleaned, did everyone's laundry, even Tyler's gross gym clothes, while Karen sat watching Real Housewives and complained I loaded the dishwasher wrong. Tyler graduated college 2 years ago. Barely. I think Dad paid someone to help. He hasn't worked a single day since. He says he's a content creator, but his TikTok has like 200 followers, and it's just him doing cringy dance trends badly. Ashley's in her 3rd year of college, studying business. But really, she just parties and posts Starbucks pics on Instagram. Dad pays for everything. Her apartment, her car, which she crashed twice, her credit cards, which she maxes out every month. And there I was, working part-time at Starbucks while doing online classes, cleaning the whole house, and trying to save money because Karen kept hinting that I should start paying rent. The day everything went down started like a usual bad day. I finished an 8-hour Starbucks shift. Some rude customer, another Karen, small K, yelled at me about almond milk. But that's another story. I was tired, but I still had to cook dinner. Because Tyler won't move from his gaming chair and Ashley won't put down her phone. I was making pasta from a TikTok recipe. It was actually really good, and Karen walked into the kitchen wearing one of her designer outfits, probably from Ross. She had that look, like a teacher catching you passing notes. She sat at the kitchen island watching me like a hawk. I was already nervous because she always criticizes my cooking. Last week it was too much garlic, which is never true. The week before it was too spicy. It was Alfredo sauce. Then she said it. We need to talk about your living situation. I was like, what do you mean? I've lived here longer than her. She said, your father and I think it's time you start paying rent. You're working now and it's not fair that you live here for free while we pay for everything. The bye. Audacity. I was standing there, wooden spoon in hand, probably burning the sauce, trying to understand what she just said. Meanwhile, Tyler is upstairs yelling about his kill-death ratio in Call of Duty, and Ashley's TikTok sounds are blasting in the living room. I asked her calmly, what about Tyler and Ashley? Are they paying rent too? She dabbed her mouth. With a napkin, even though she hadn't eaten anything, a habit she picked up from Real Housewives, and said, well, that's different. They're my children, and they're still figuring out their lives. Tyler is working on his content creation career, and Ashley is focused on her studies. I almost laughed. Tyler's career is badly lip-syncing on TikTok and playing Fortnite on Twitch for 3 viewers, one of which is probably Karen, and another is his own fake account. Ashley hasn't opened a textbook since her first day of college. Then Karen gave me her reasonable rent plan. $800 a month, plus utilities. And I would still be expected to help around the house. Basically, still be their maid. I was standing there, stirring the pasta sauce, and suddenly something in me broke. It was like in movies where everything goes silent, and you see things clearly. Years of being treated like Cinderella. All the comments, all the chores, all the gross laundry and fake eyelashes on the bathroom floor, it all hit me. So I turned off the stove, safety first, LOL, put down the spoon, and looked her straight in her Botox-filled face. I said calmly, let me get this straight. Tyler, who hasn't earned $1 since graduation and yells at 12-year-olds on Xbox, doesn't pay rent. Ashley, who maxes out credit cards buying Sheen hauls and never cleans, doesn't pay rent. But I do? Karen's face twitched. Probably the Botox. She started saying how I'm more established and how family helps family and other stuff she probably read on a Facebook mom group. That's when I decided to share my big news. But first, I called everyone to the dining room. I told Karen that I wanted to talk about this with the whole family. I used her own tricks against her and laughed to myself. Tyler complained about stopping his game, and Ashley acted like getting off the couch was the worst thing ever. But finally, everyone sat at the table. The pasta was cold now, but I didn't care. I wasn't hungry anymore. Karen started talking about her plan like she was a boss or something. Tyler was smiling, probably thinking he could use his allowance to buy more V-Bucks now that I'd be paying the bills. Ashley was recording for her private story. She loves drama, just not when it's about her. Then I said something that changed everything. I said, I'm not paying rent because this house belongs to me. The silence after that? Wow, I wish I had recorded it. I wish I had a picture of their faces. They looked at me like I spoke a different language. Tyler even stopped eating, his fork just hanging in the air, and spaghetti fell back onto his plate. Gross. Ashley's mouth opened wide. It was the first real expression I'd seen on her face since she started using filters. But Karen? Oh, wow. Her face looked like the loading sign when a computer freezes. She couldn't understand what I had just said. Then they all started laughing, loudly. Good one, Tyler said with pasta sauce on his chin. He eats like a little kid. Did you get that from TikTok or something? Ashley had her phone out, probably thinking this would make good content for her relatable family moments videos, which only like 50 people follow. Karen was trying to laugh too, but I could see she was starting to panic. She had the same look she gets when her credit card doesn't work at Nordstrom Rack. That happens a lot. What are you talking about? She said, trying to sound calm, but her voice was shaking. This house belongs to your father and me. Here's where it gets really good. I leaned back in my chair, trying to look calm and confident, and said, "Why don't you call Dad and ask him?" Karen started tapping on her phone like crazy. I thought she might break the screen. Honestly, I kind of wished she would, because guess who would have to fix it? Me. She put the phone on speaker. Of course she did. She loves an audience when she thinks she's going to win. The phone rang a few times, and then Dad answered. He sounded tired, probably because he was actually working while his stepson was building his brand or whatever. "David," Karen said in her fake sweet voice, like when she wants a free hotel upgrade. "Ruby is saying something strange about the house. She says it belongs to her. That's not true, right?" The silence after that was so loud. You could hear Dad clear his throat like he does when he feels awkward. He does that a lot around Karen. Then he said, "Well, actually, my parents put the house in Ruby's name before they passed away." Boom! Karen's face changed colors like a mood ring from Claire's. First red, then white, then this weird green I've never seen on a person before. "What do you mean they put it in her name?" she shouted. "When were you going to tell me this?" "I didn't think it was important," my dad said weakly. Typical dad. "Not important?" Karen stood up and her chair scraped the floor. "You didn't think it was important to tell me that your teenage daughter owns our house?" She hung up on him. The phone hit the table hard. I thought the screen might break. Again, I kind of hoped it would. Tyler wasn't laughing anymore. He looked pale, probably realizing all the times he told me to leave his game room. It was, actually, my game room. Ashley was still recording, but now she looked shocked, like a scared deer. I could almost see her deleting all her TikTok drafts in her mind. Karen was breathing like she had just run a race in her fake designer shoes. She was trying to stay calm, but failing badly. "Well," she said, trying to sound normal. "This has been a misunderstanding. Of course, you don't have to pay rent, Ruby. Let's just forget this conversation." But I didn't want to forget. I was done forgetting all the bad things they had done to me. I was done being the family doormat. I was done letting them live in my house while treating me like their maid. So I smiled and said, "Oh, we're not forgetting this conversation. In fact, I paused for dramatic effect. What can I say? I've learned from the best. I think it's time we talk about your living situation." Karen's scared face. Better than any Christmas present ever. But wait. It gets better. While they were all sitting there trying to accept the truth, Karen's phone kept buzzing. My dad was texting her. She ignored it, but I knew what was happening. He was probably texting about the legal papers my grandparents left, the ones that proved I was telling the truth. So after that crazy dinner, I went to bed feeling great. You know the feeling when you finally stand up to a bully? Multiply that by 1,000. That's how I felt. But Karen? Oh, she wasn't done yet. Not even close. The next morning, I was about to go downstairs for breakfast when I heard Karen's voice in the kitchen. She was on the phone with my dad. On speaker, of course. And guess what she was doing? She was trying to convince my dad to get me to move out of my own house. Here's the talk I heard. And yes, I recorded it. I don't trust these people at all now. Karen, David, you need to do something about this. Your daughter is a problem. Dad sounding tired. What do you want me to do, Karen? Karen. What about those out-of-state colleges she applied to? You could tell her it would be good for her independence. This woman really wanted to send me away just so she could keep living in my house without paying rent. But it gets worse. Dad. I don't know, Karen. Karen, in her fake sweet voice. Think about it, David. She's young. She needs to, experience life away from home. And honestly, she paused. I'm worried about her mental health. All this anger she has, it's not healthy. Excuse me? The only thing making me stressed is living with the worst stepmom ever. Then the part that really hurt, Dad. Maybe you're right. I'll talk to her about moving out for college. It might be better for everyone. I had to stop myself from screaming. My own dad, who I've lived with all my life, who I helped after my mom died, who I cooked and cleaned for, just agreed to try and kick me out of my own house. So I did what anyone would do. I walked into the kitchen like I hadn't heard anything. Karen almost dropped her phone when she saw me. She was still in her silk robe, probably fake like everything else. About her, holding her world's best mom mug. Tyler and Ashley bought it from the dollar store last Mother's Day. She acts like it's made of gold. Good morning, sweetie, she said in a cheerful voice, like she wasn't just planning to get rid of me. I made coffee. First of all, she didn't make coffee. She put a K-cup in the Keurig that I bought with my Starbucks money. Second of all, sweetie? Since when? Tyler walked in looking like a zombie. Probably stayed up all night streaming for his 3 viewers. Ashley came in next, already looking camera ready. She spends 2 hours getting ready every morning, I swear. We were all eating breakfast, which I made, by the way. Karen can't cook anything that isn't from the microwave. The tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Tyler was eating cereal and scrolling on TikTok. Ashley was taking photos of her untouched avocado toast for Instagram. Karen was pretending to check emails, but I could see she was actually Googling how to evict someone who owns the house. Not very sneaky, Karen. That's when I decided to have some fun. Hey, Karen, I said in a casual voice. I was thinking about what you said yesterday about rent. She sat up quickly, like a meerkat. She probably thought I was about to agree with her. I think you're right. People should pay rent to live here. She looked happy for about 2 seconds. Then I said, so I've been checking the market prices in our area. I think $200 per person is fair. That's $3,600 for you, Tyler and Ashley, not including utilities. Oh, and there will be a security deposit. Chaos. Tyler choked on his frosted flakes. Ashley dropped her avocado toast on her white crop top. Karma is real, folks. And Karen looked like she might faint. You can't be serious, she said. We're family. Oh, I'm very serious, I said. And since you brought up family, I pulled out my phone with the recording of her morning chat with Dad ready to play. Let's talk about your little plan to send me away to college. The color left her face so fast I thought she'd faint. Tyler and Ashley looked at us like they were watching a tennis match. After I played the recording of Karen's call, things got wild, like a Jerry Springer episode. Karen jumped up so fast she knocked over her world's best mom mug. It didn't break. She tried to look angry, but her Botox made her face twitch in a funny way. You recorded me? That's illegal, she screeched. I just smiled and said, actually, we live in a one-party consent state. I checked. And it's my house, my rules. Tyler sat there with his mouth open and milk dripping down his chin. He still never learned to eat properly. Ashley was furiously texting her TikTok friends, pretending she didn't care. Karen paced. The kitchen, her fake Gucci slides going flip-flop on the clean tile floor. She muttered about calling her lawyer cousin, the one who really only does DUI cases in a strip mall office. Then she tried a softer voice, like when she wants a free refund. Ruby, sweetheart, I know you're upset, but this isn't healthy. Your father and I only want to help you. Maybe some time away would be good. There's a nice college in Michigan. I cut her off. Karen, let me make this very clear. I'm not going anywhere. This is my house. The deed is in my name. If anyone's leaving, it's not me. That made her lose it. She called me an ungrateful name, not very world's best mom of her. She ranted that she'd raised me by making me their maid, that she'd sacrificed by shopping at TJ Maxx instead of Nordstrom, and that I was tearing the family apart. What family? Meanwhile, Tyler and Ashley had their own meltdowns. Tyler, this is bullshit. I'm not paying rent. I'm gonna blow up on Twitch. He wasn't. Ashley, Daddy loves us more than this stupid house. He didn't. I sipped my coffee because Karen still can't use a French press and watched them spiral. All their privilege and entitlement poured out. Karen then tried her trump card. She grabbed her phone and called Dad again, expecting him to rush home. But I'd already texted him the recording and explained everything. For once, he backed me up, in his own weak way. When he answered on speaker, he said, Karen, David, you need to come home right now. Your daughter is out of control. Then more firmly, Karen, we have to respect that it's her house. Maybe it's time we find a new place. The silence after that? You could almost hear their brains crashing. Karen's face moved through shock, anger, disbelief, and finally, real fear. She realized she was about to lose her free ride and her power trip. That's when she made her biggest mistake. She got right in my face and snarled, Listen here, you little... I don't care whose name is on the deed. This is my house. I've lived here for 12 years, and no spoiled brat is kicking me out. I will make your life hell. Perfect. Because I'd been recording everything too. And I'd already talked to a lawyer. Best decision ever. My grandparents didn't just put the house in my name. They set up a trust so no one could contest it. My lawyer laughed when she saw Karen's threats. The day after Karen's meltdown, I went nuclear. I served them all real eviction papers, official, court documents. Karen tried to refuse them, but that's not how it works. Thanks, Reddit. Tyler threw his gaming chair down the stairs and broke it. Hello, Karma. Ashley had a full Instagram live meltdown. She picked up 200 followers at least, so congrats. But Karen went full psycho. First, she called every lawyer in town. Small-town lawyers all know each other. After a few told her she had no case. Even her DUI cousin wouldn't touch it. Then she went to social media and posted a long, dramatic status about how her ungrateful stepdaughter was trying to make her family homeless. That backfired when one of my mom's old friends commented with receipts about how Karen treated me over the years. Shout out to my mom's friend Sarah. She'd been saving screenshots for years. Karen's country club friends started avoiding her. Funny how that works. Tyler and Ashley had more crises. Tyler realized being a content creator isn't a job when you have 247 followers and all you do is rage at Fortnite. He tried applying for real jobs, but professional gamer unofficial doesn't look great on a resume. Ashley's sorority friends gossip that her designer bags are fake and her dad isn't as rich as she says. Her last desperate move? She waited until I was at work and tried to rearrange things. Specifically, she tried to take some of my mom's old jewelry left to me by my grandparents. Too bad I'd installed security cameras after the eviction notice. Again, thanks Reddit. I got her on video, clear as day, trying to stuff my mom's antique necklaces into her tacky Michael Kors bag. I called the cops, filed a report, and showed them the footage. You should have seen Karen trying to tell the officer she was just moving jewelry that wasn't hers. Her fake tears didn't work. Her mascara wasn't even running. The officer was an older lady who looked at Karen and said, "Ma'am, stealing from the legal owner isn't a family matter." I didn't press charges because I want this on record for the eviction case. My lawyer was very happy. Remember how Karen always bragged about her investment accounts and being wealthy before meeting Dad. Turns out that was all a lie. She has nowhere to go and is panicking. She tried calling my dad's sister for help, but my aunt, who hates Karen, sent her apartment listings in the sketchy part of town. I felt a bit sorry. Until I remembered when Karen accidentally donated my mom's Christmas ornaments to Goodwill. Best worst. Part? My dad finally grew a spine. He told Karen that if she wouldn't leave peacefully, he wouldn't go with her. 12 years of her toxic nonsense was enough, even for him. I'll update you when they move out. Final update after the jewelry incident. Karen knew she was done, but being Karen, she made her exit dramatic. The day before the eviction deadline, she held a family meeting and strutted in wearing her fake Chanel suit, pattern all wrong, swearing it was vintage. She had a speech about choosing to leave because she couldn't stand the bad vibes. She said she and Dad were moving to a beautiful new house in Tampa, Florida. First, they never bought anything. I saw her GoFundMe for Family in Crisis get exactly $43 in donations, mostly from her MLM pals. Second, Dad wasn't even there. He was staying in a hotel. Watching her try to steal your dead wife's jewelry really kills the mood. Then it got even better. In the middle of her "this house was beneath me" rant, the movers I hired showed up, huge guys with boxes and dollies. Karen froze. Botox plus rage equals comedy gold. She screamed she needed more time to pack. But the head mover, Mike, said, "Ma'am, we have orders to pack everything and move it to your storage unit today. If you want your things, take it up with the court." She completely lost it. Full meltdown. She grabbed random stuff, calling it family heirlooms, including my mom's ceramic bowl she tried to throw away last year. Ashley cried about her TikTok backdrop being ruined. Tyler panicked because he couldn't disconnect his gaming setup fast enough. Best part, remember Karen's designer stuff? The movers packed it and half the labels fell off. Meanwhile, I sat on my couch drinking coffee in my own house, watching them scramble. I posted a few updates to my private story, and old classmates slid into my DMs like, "OMG, I always knew." She was fake. Final inventory of what they tried to steal as they left. 3 of my mom's necklaces, caught on camera. My grandma's china set, also on camera. The good coffee maker I bought with my Starbucks money. Every towel in the house, weird flex. The garage door opener. Seriously? You know what? They can keep the towels. I already ordered new, really nice ones that Karen would have said were too expensive while dropping $500 on her fake designer junk. The actual eviction? Chef's kiss. They had to walk out with the sheriff's deputy. Standard procedure, but so satisfying. Karen tried to claim I damaged her things, but the deputy pointed to my security cameras and asked if she wanted to file a false report. She shut up fast. So where are they now? Karen and Dad are living in her sister's 2-bedroom apartment in the next town. It's not going well. Her sister posted about ungrateful house guests who don't do dishes. Tyler sold his gaming setup to pay a deposit on a room in a sketchy house share and now works at GameStop. Honestly, that might be good for him. Ashley moved in with her sorority sisters, but they kicked her out after a week because she kept crying. Now she's commuting 2 hours to college from her aunt's place. She made a TikTok about being humbled, but it got ratioed in the comments. As for me, the house is so peaceful now. Almost weirdly peaceful. No more fake perfume smell. No more passive-aggressive notes about loading the dishwasher. No more 3 a.m. screaming from Tyler's gaming sessions. I turned his old room into my home office, already filling it with real designer things because I can afford it now that I'm not paying for their groceries. Ashley's old room is becoming my dream closet. Karen's meditation room, where she watched Real Housewives, is now my yoga studio. Dad calls sometimes. He's staying with Karen for now, but sounds tired. I think he's finally realizing what everyone else knew 12 years ago. He married a gold digger who's not even good at gold digging. Was I too harsh? Maybe. Do I regret it? Nope. They messed around, they found out. And karma doesn't care about your fake Gucci slides. Final update. My mom's best friend Sarah is renting one of the spare rooms now, so I'm not alone in this big house. She's teaching me all of Mom's recipes and helping me replace everything Karen threw out. Sometimes good things come from bad situations. Thanks for following my story, Reddit. Y'all kept me strong, especially with the legal advice. You guys rock.